Do you have a love-hate relationship with food? Like you hate how much you love it because you know you should be eating differently but struggle to change your habits? Then this video is for you. Greg and I just sat down to talk about the biggest levers that you can pull to actually change your relationship with food so that it becomes something that fuels your body instead of taxing it. Let's jump in.
Okay, welcome to week 2. This is eat.
Yeah.
So this is one of the biggest levers that we can pull to become not only physically healthier and stronger, but mentally too. Our diets, like what we put in our mouth, what we eat and drink, has a direct impact on our physical and mental health for sure. So for me, the main thing here is the fat switch, is carb fasting, how carb fasting will allow us to lose fat and weight, gain energy, and potentially gain muscle if we're exercising and getting enough protein in. And just the simple science behind how what we eat is processed by the body. Again, the book, The Fat Switch, if you haven't read the book, absolutely read the book. This module in week 2 is going to be incredible because it's going to allow you to develop a rhythm for eating. It's not a diet. This is sustainable. This is long-term. It's not, carbs are not the enemy for most people. You don't have to go on a keto or carnivore just to lose weight.
Right.
Now, if you're a keto person, then, that can work. You will lose weight. And some people can sustain that long term, but most people, 95% of the population, that's not going to be a sustainable way to keep the weight off and actually be healthy.
Yeah.
So that's why carb fasting is so critical, because it just allows our body to increase its metabolic flexibility and actually turn on that little fat switch to use fat for energy. So for me, that's the big idea here.
Yeah. For me, in this module, it's actually the attention piece. And again, this probably goes to like what kind of lifestyle I was living before Freedomology, and then how these ideas have sort of changed my approach. But paying attention to how what you eat makes you feel, like an hour later, 2 hours later, exploring the blood glucose spikes with you. And when you were doing these continuous blood glucose monitors and we could see in real time like how a donut affects you, that really woke me up a bit to start to pay more attention, not just to what's in my food, how does it taste, will it fill me up, but how will I feel, not just when I'm eating it, how am I going to feel for the rest of the day? Start to expand my horizon of how food is affecting me. And I started to realize, man, actually a lot of what I'm eating makes me feel like trash an hour later or 2 hours later. It's just not worth it in the long term. And so eating to feel good in the long term over the span of my life has become a real priority for me. And it was just a shift in attention that did it.
Yeah, no, Tony, that's huge. And I think there's also a reason why we're not super prescriptive on exactly what to eat, right? We talk about whole foods. We talk about real food. We talk about food with a small number of ingredients, right? But we don't give you an exact meal plan, because as we've discussed these concepts, this science with dietitians and nutritionists, they don't love to give prescriptive meal plans, because when you tell people exactly what to do or exactly what not to do, they don't follow that long term. It's not a rhythm, it's forced.
Oh, I read a study recently. You were saying like those kinds of super restrictive diets can work in the short term.
Sure.
But studies show like most people, when they come off of them, will put on more weight than they lost because of a kind of revenge binging that happens when you come off. And so that's why we prefer a dietary approach. It's an approach to food that can last your whole life.
Yeah. And cool, guys. So definitely read the Fat Switch, go through this module, and look at food a little bit differently. Look at food as energy versus just pleasure. And that doesn't mean you can't actually enjoy the foods that you're eating, because some of the best foods in the world, as I've eaten healthier, as I've realized that, man, diet, I moved from interest to commitment in my diet. That's when the weight and the fat just sort of came off, and muscle is actually continuing to grow. And I'm doing the same things at the gym. I'm really the same movement, but my body has evolved and shaped differently, and I have more energy and just a bigger zest for life, attacking everything I'm doing versus just slogging throughout the day. So again, super important ideas in Eat, and we'll see you next week with Move.
So what was your big takeaway from this week of H40? What changes have you made and how's it been going for you? Let me know in the comments below. We read all of them, and we'll see you soon.